Hi, I'm Olivia Squizzle, and I don't know if you know this, but I'm a theater kid, actually. And this is how I would direct Hadestown. I've seen a lot of people saying that Hadestown is getting too repetitive, that nobody is making choices, all of the costuming looks the same, every production is the same old, same old, same old. Because it's like, when you got it that right to begin with, better not mess it up. It's one of my favorite shows ever. I love Hadestown. It is so complex and emotional, and the storytelling and the way it is set and portrayed and the costuming, all of it is beautiful and glorious and stunning. But if we want a different direction, if we want something new, we want something fresh, we want something weird, who are you gonna go to? This guy right here, sole creator of media. So, I'm thinking we make it cyberpunk. Everything's futuristic, very like streetwear and like robot cats. So here's the thing, the workers, the ensemble, the groundwork of the show, they are cyborgs. They are people with metal plates, metal eyes, robotic pieces. They are being torn and stripped of their humanity, just like in the regular show. They are portrayed as torn down, as weak, but we're showing it in a visual representation of the fact that they are becoming more machine than man. I want like rusty metallic looking clothes. I want, workman's jumpsuits, but mainly I want the like robot like pieces on the face, the robot eye, the lining like your face is made of plating. That's my vision. I think that is so cool. And then that leads you to Hades, the ruler of the evil little robot workers. He's just gonna kind of look like Darth Vader. I want him on like big black, like billowy, like cyber tech, what is it called? Tactical wear, like the plasticky like armor and like the cape and like, just looking crazy. And I want him to have a giant remote that you'll see him like playing with, like he's controlling the workers, like they're all on his remote control. I think that's smart. I think that's cool. I think that's a slightly different direction. It gives Hades something tangibly different to do. I also think Hades on a Segway would be really funny. Yeah. Then Persephone, I want her to look like you just barely escaped this cyberpunk city and you get to the one place that has a little bit of grass, that has a little bit of green, and she is just like covered in like dirt and there's like moss growing on her pants, but then she still has like a dress on over top. But then she might have to have like an air filter on sometimes, or like breathing tubes, or something very like she is trying to connect with a world that doesn't exist anymore. She is the representation of all of the nature that is left in the world. She has some flowers growing on her arms, but like it's not enough nature for everybody. She's like the manifestation of everything. I think it's really cool. I want her mossy. I want her to have some flowers. I want her to look straight out of a wasteland. Then the Fates. I want the Fates to roll up looking like Rey Skywalker. No, I want the very like desert wasteland look for them. They're like covered in to protect them from the sun and the zombies and just the apocalypse world they live in. So they're in this and they like, flit around and stuff. And then we get to the big guns. Hermes. I want streetwear. I want white, silver, metallic-y, bright K-pop boy band. Y2K streetwear diva. I also want him on a hoverboard, so he's just like beep, just like flitting around. So he's like I want him, like, super futuristic looking, but still in his color scheme. Everyone's still pretty much in their color scheme. That's what I'm thinking for Hermes. I want him just so boy band. Then we get to Eurydice, a hungry young girl. I want her to have a darker palette. I don't know if we're going all black, but almost like a mix of like Hades and Persephone and the Fates. I want the streetwear aspect tied in with like the kind of rogue vigilante looking loose like scarf around the head, or the vest trailing down all free in the wind, but then she has like the pants with like the pockets and the belt and like some tactical gear and like very like streetwear cyberpunk rogue on the streets. And then Orpheus, we're just going very like straightforward, exactly his color scheme, but make it look like he just fought 30 zombies. Like, I want him straight out of a wasteland. Like, he still could even have like the same exact shirt on, but it's like one of the sleeves is ripped off, and it's like there's like some splash of like red and green like mud and dirt and blood put on it, and then his pants are more cargo-y, or they're maybe even like camo, but they're like a lot more aggressive on the pockets. Maybe he has one of those shoulder pieces. He can definitely incorporate his red bandana somewhere. That is one direction I'm thinking for Hadestown, like this cyberpunk post-apocalyptic wasteland. You can keep the themes, you can keep the colors, but you're making it something different, something out of the box, something unconventional and fun. Now for like the actual like staging of this particular production, I'm thinking lots of like the backdrop maybe being a whole wall of like there's some metal and some wood and some brick, but it's all like graffitied up. Maybe something like that, a lot of graffiti or something incorporated. Yeah, so that is my one idea for Hadestown. It's kind of wild, kind of out there. Whatever, this is more costuming ideas than directing ideas, I guess. Another thing, I would love like a Hadestown on Ice production. I just think you could do a lot with the movement of that show. Could be so cool on ice. I would also love to see a production of Hadestown where they were actually building something. Like, do a production of Hadestown where the workers in their choreography are, like, setting down some kind of bricks and, like, building something. I don't know if it would work, but I think it would be cool to try and see. Yeah, so I think cyberpunk post-apocalyptic wasteland Hadestown. If you are directing a theater group right now, you're directing a community theater, high school theater, whatever it is, absolutely do this. I think it would be the coolest thing ever. I think the costuming, some of it might be harder, but a lot of it is just about incorporating a little bit of, like, distress. So, get your kids distressing clothes. It'll be fun, I promise. So, yeah, also, I do have another video with Hadestown that is all of Hadestown Act 1 in, like, 2 minutes or something. And I feel bad that I never made a part 2, but I'll be honest, I don't know the Act 2 songs that well, because when you start listening to the soundtrack, it starts at the beginning, and it is so ridiculously long, you rarely make it to the end. But, like, I always started at the beginning, so unfortunately that doesn't exist. But that video that I did, where I did Hadestown Act 1 all in, like, a minute, I did kind of roughly find some costumes for, like, almost all of the characters. So, it could be an easy show to costume, I think. And this might be, like, a little above your budget, or it might be, like, a little crazy, a little more work. But I think it would be worth it to do something different. And I don't think it takes away from the story. I think it would add to the story. I think it would be something different without being something weird. I think it would be a risk without just being like... I heard about a production of Hadestown where Hades just did a Trump impersonation the entire time. And it was just like, at some point it just gets kind of annoying. But I think this would be the perfect niche for Hadestown. So yeah, that's all for today. Like, subscribe, give me all your money, and enjoy your day. Don't die too soon. Bye!